KB, we share the beauty of the season by reaching out to the less fortunate. Please help us to help others with the KBLA Cover the Houseless Cozy Community Coat and Blanket Drive. All you have to do is drop off new or clean, gently used winter coats and blankets in the KBLA lobby during business hours. Now through December 20th, all of the coats and blankets will be donated to unsheltered individuals and families experiencing houselessness. Simply bring your donation to 4434 Crenshaw Boulevard in Los Angeles, near Vernon Avenue, from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. weekdays. That's 4434 Crenshaw in historic Leimert Park. During the holidays and every day, let's remember, we keep us safe. We keep us warm. We are the safety net. And together, we can cover the unsheltered. Get caught up in the spirit of the season, the spirit of love. Make a difference with your friends at KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey Zoe, I'm calling your show, 'cause I need to know. Show me which way to go before I throw my man out the door.
Okay, hold on a second, Keisha. Just let me ask Ronald exactly what's going on, because it takes two to tango, and I need to hear his side of the story.
So she's driving me insane, got stress heavy on my brain. She keeps playing silly games, man, I'm about to bring the pain. We seem to fuss and fight every day and every night. Please give some advice so we can see the light, see the light.
Is love attachment?
Alors ça, c'est la grande question.
Where there is attachment, there is anxiety.
Oui, la peur de perdre. Oui.
Yeah, there is fear. There is uncertainty. Uncertainty in which there is always the desire to be certain. And is love fear? Is love a sense of uncertainty? Is love a sense of security? All those imply, don't they, a sense of attachment to a person or to something, to an experience.
Man, Shavitz. The voice of reason back in the building. It's that time of year. Your brother Zoe Williams is drained. This year has drained me. I can't front. But especially around this time of year. During the holidays, man, right? Just creeping up on Halloween. You start feeling it, you know? This is when love's chickens come home to roost. I know y'all don't want to hear this tonight, and I know it's the holidays and Friendsgivings and Thanksgivings and, listen, man. When your pattern is realer than you are. What? What happened? Yes, he said it. When your pattern. See, it's easy to fall into the pattern of Thanksgiving and yet internally not be thankful. Oh, goodness gracious, man. It's easy to go buy flowers during Valentine's Day and chocolates, but not be in love. It's easy to perform what is necessary to perform, but it's hard to embody, the symbol that the flower represents. It's hard, to embody it. But let me just say this before I really kick this thing off. I was supposed to have my god sister here, Dr. Pacoya McCall Robinson. She couldn't make it. I don't want to get into her business, but, one of her clients, had a psychological emergency. And she texted me and said, yo, this evaluation, what he did, blah, blah, blah. It's going to take at least 3 to 4 hours. The police are here. Like, she was like, yo, Zoe, it's really serious. I said, listen, handle your scandal like a vandal. Don't worry about it. I'll hold your topic down, because this is the topic she wanted to do. We were going to do LDE, little ick energy. But I said, no, we're going to change the topic. We're going to fit my sister, but she can't be here. But that's okay. Because I had a very long day today before I even got here. And, Zoe Williams is a human being, which means Zoe Williams has his own internal struggles. Zoe Williams may reach out. Yes, I'm speaking in the third person. He may reach out and talk to his support system, whatever. But the reality of it is, what God, or whatever you want to call it, the source, whatever, Allah, whatever name you give to it, right? What the being, the source, the one, put me on earth to do was try to assist people in their process. And today was one of those days where when you take on the energy of people pouring out the brokenness of their spirit, right? You start to recognize, man, first and foremost, you start to realize, okay, embodying thankfulness and humility and gratefulness, even when you don't get everything you want, is really a game changer. I was speaking to a sister today, and she was going through it, and the conundrum that she was in. And then the wave, the tsunami of humility that hit me, because she's a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend, and it's almost like the friend calls and goes, hey, can you talk right now? And I'm like, yeah. Yeah. And I'm thinking the sister wants to talk. No. She's like, nah, somebody I need you to help wants to talk. And I'm not going to get into the specifics of it. I'm just going to say the most profound, heartbreaking thing was, it's like going back to prison, Zoe. If I do this, it'll be like going to prison. I said, wow. I said, whoa. And I spent a good 2 hours on the phone with the sister, trying to help her navigate and look at things and see things from a different perspective, and, you know, and listen, you know, and really just actively listen and tap in. And, you know, you're listening to the wounds, but you're also listening for God, because it's in there. It's in her, you know, and to try to navigate her back to that, man, you know, it was good. So it made me think about this topic today. And that's why I had to do it, whether my sister was going to be here or not, because this is her topic. And even she came to me and she was like, we got to do this topic, bro. I said, what's happening? What's the topic? What is it about? She says, okay, the topic is called outsourced love. I said, hold on. What do you mean outsourced? Now, sister is a clinician. She's PsyD, you know. She's a therapist. She's, you know, she knows her stuff. And what I'm finding, and what many clinicians are finding, inside your own spirit ain't safe to you. For many people, it ain't safe in there. So then there's this push to make out there safe. Ooh, Biggie said it, we hustling backwards. So we trying to make outside safe because we scared of inside. Man, outsourced love. Are human beings conditioned to look outside of themselves for love? Well, if you didn't, man, I don't want to say it, man, but I talked to the young lady today. Her spirit was so beautiful because she sought help. Do you understand how high your level of consciousness has to be to go look for help? You got people out here that are so self-unaware, they can't even see what they do and how they move and how they treat people is wrong. It's hurtful. But for the sister to say, go get Zoe. Is he available? Heavy stuff, man. Are we capable of true love in this day and age? Are we outsourcing our happiness, expecting our partners to do all the work for us? What is the definition of love by today's standards and definition? Is toxic love the new love? I need you to lean in to these questions. They're framing it for you. Is toxic, these are my sister's questions. Is toxic love the new love? See, what happens is many people use the terminology love, and they think they know what they're talking about. Right? Just like God. God wouldn't like that. First off, your brain, your mind, and your ability to comprehend is too small to speak on behalf of God. So let's get that off the table. Stop speaking for God. Let's do that. And the same is true of love. Toxicity is what we're all born into, whether you like it or not. Two-parent home, broken home, one-parent home, whatever it is, whether you like it or not, there's some level of dysfunction, and that dysfunction contaminates your perspective, your ability to see the truth as it is. Are we not finding our true love because we don't love ourselves enough? Listen to her questions, man. Are we not finding our true love because we don't love ourselves enough? Whew. How might the need for external validation interfere with a person's ability to cultivate self-love? In what ways do attachment wounds shape patterns of seeking love from external sources rather than from within oneself? How do the 3 insecure attachment styles, avoidant, anxious, and disorganized, influence a person's tendency to outsource love or approval? People want to play so many games. You know what it is? When you talk to folk and as a coach, you know what has to happen? You have to attune your ear to be able to just listen without judgment. Because many people have never been heard. So part of trying to help somebody deal with an issue is first listening to everything they got to get off their chest. Listen to everything they got to say. You understand? So I sit back and I listen and I listen and I listen, and you letting it all out. You just saying everything you need to say because somebody didn't listen to you. Maybe that somebody was your primary caregiver. And from that moment forward, you felt like you were unheard. Right? So when these people are allowed to just speak, being able to say what they need to say is part of the healing process. Do you understand? We are outsourcing. We outsource listening. Just listen to me, please. Right? You'd rather have somebody that is a third party, that is, what's the term here? It's not going to cost you anything. Like you can't lose anything. It's low stakes. That's the term. It's low stakes. I'm not intimate with this person. Maybe this person can help me. So, you know what? I'm gonna let it all out. These are things you wouldn't let out to yourself, and these are things you wouldn't let out to a significant other for fear of judgment, because judgment is coming from the self and the significant other, which is why you clam up. So that third person, whom is low stakes to you, you could just say it. And that's just talked and talked and talked. Are you outsourcing your happiness? When I come forward, I'm opening up the phone lines, and I'm hoping that you guys will be transparent with me tonight. Let's get it.
Reasons. The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear, our feelings won't disappear. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580. Are you an entrepreneur looking to take your business to new heights? KBLA Talk 1580 is your partner in success. Every day, we celebrate and elevate Black-owned businesses across our community. Our KBLA SMB Marketplace currently features The Cookie Dip, Badass Bakes, Hair Concoction, Higher Education Accreditation Consulting, LACC Radiology Technology Department, and Malik Books. Your business deserves to be heard. Let KBLA Talk 1580 amplify your voice and connect you with our powerful community of listeners. Email smb@kbla1580.com today. That's smb@kbla1580.com. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your flag. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Worried about eviction? You have rights, and Stay Housed LA can help. Stay Housed LA is a partnership between LA County, the City of Los Angeles, and local service providers. From Lancaster to Long Beach, we're here to help you with tenant education workshops, legal clinics, free legal services for eligible tenants, and online resources about tenant protection laws. Don't face eviction alone. Call our hotline at 1-888-694-0040. That's 1-888-694-0040. Or visit stayhousedla.org. Stay Housed LA, keeping Los Angeles residents in their homes. Stay Housed LA, your rights, your home, our community. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
I occasionally have nerve discomfort in my hands, so the things I love to do...
Let's play something, Grandma.
became difficult as I got older.
If you have occasional stabbing and burning in your hands and feet, try Nervive Nerve Relief. Nervive's clinically studied dose of alpha-lipoic acid reduces occasional nerve discomfort in as little as 7 days with continued daily use. Say yes to healthy nerves with Nervive Nerve Relief. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
If you don't get to know the nature of fear, then you'll never know fearlessness. Because we are so uncomfortable with fear, we're so uncomfortable with discomfort, that we just want to get away from it. And that's what weakens us. That what never adds up to inner strength, and it never adds up to some kind of unshakable trust. It just makes us more scared and more uptight, and saddest of all, it isolates us and cuts us off from each other.
Man, oh Manischewitz, you already know. Pima Chodron. She's always cooking. We're all so afraid, terrified to love. Because there was terror. There was neglect. In some instances, there was abuse in how most of us were raised. And I'm even talking about the most healthy of us. There's been some level of dysfunction. And that affects the way we love. And if we couldn't get it from home in a pure sense, I know you don't believe me. I talked to that sister, man, and it broke my heart talking to that sister. Because there was a revelation that I'm not going to reveal here. She would have to be here, and I'd have to get her permission to do that. But there was such a revelation for her. I never looked at it that way before, brother. And she was able to see very clearly. You know, this I can reveal this. I've revealed this piece. You know, she was able to see very clearly that the type of man she likes was like her father. And that's all I'll say about that. In what ways do attachment wounds shape patterns of seeking love from external sources rather than from within oneself? What role does fear of freedom play in an individual's preference for toxic yet familiar relationships? How might societal norms and media reinforce the outsourcing of happiness to romantic relationships? Nobody's here to save you but you. You are a self-messiah. It has always been that. You are a self-messiah. All your partner is a mirror for you to see your messiahship. That's it. That relationship, because everybody has some type of dysfunction, that relationship is your cross. You know how they say everybody's got a cross to bear, right? Who has the fortitude to climb up on that cross and self-crucify? What are you crucifying? The ego that was formed by an unhealed wound, which keeps the wound alive. Do you know the wound will sacrifice you before it sacrifices itself? The wound wants to live. How could understanding the interplay between self-empathy and attachment wounds promote healthier relationships? In what ways might cultivating self-love transform the quality and the authenticity of your human connections? These relationships are designed to reveal the relationships of the people who bore you. Every relationship has a generational consequence with regards to the choices you make. When we come forward, the voice of reason, I'm going to open up these phone lines. We have to stop outsourcing love. When we come forward, I want to talk to y'all. It's time to get transparent.
He's on fire tonight. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams, exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton with 4 things you should know from BIN News. A white Florida woman, Susan Lorenz, was sentenced to 25 years for fatally shooting her black neighbor, A.J. Owens, in June 2023. Owens, a mother of 4, confronted Lorenz over a dispute involving her children. The judge called the shooting unnecessary, noting Lorenz had already called police and was safe. Despite the recent rain, Black Mayor Eric Adams is still urging New Yorkers to continue to cut back on their water usage. Adams says the drought warning continues despite the rain late last week and rain in the forecast for later in the week. The Thanksgiving travel rush is in full swing, with AAA predicting about 80 million people will venture at least 50 miles from home between now and next Monday. And Queen Latifah will take on the hosting duties for this year's edition of the Kennedy Center Honors. Organizers announced that the award-winning actress and musician will host the 47th annual ceremony on December 8th. Get BIN News on demand 24/7 at BINnews.com.
Having the time of your life is more rewarding than ever when you visit any MGM Rewards destination nationwide. Dine, stay, play, and earn on all of it. Details at MGMRewards.com. Subject to earning and redemption limitations applicable to certain purchases and in certain states.
KBLA Talk 1580 invites you to join us in celebrating the season of giving by being part of the solution. As we enjoy great food, family, warmth, and well wishes in whatever our festive tradition may be, we share the beauty of the season by reaching out to the less fortunate. Please help us to help others with the KBLA Cover the Houseless Cozy Community Coat and Blanket Drive. All you have to do is drop off new or clean, gently used winter coats and blankets in the KBLA lobby during business hours. Now through December 20th, all of the coats and blankets will be donated to unsheltered individuals and families experiencing houselessness. Simply bring your donation to 4434 Crenshaw Boulevard in Los Angeles, near Vernon Avenue, from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. weekdays. That's 4434 Crenshaw in historic Leimert Park. During the holidays and every day, let's remember, we keep us safe. We keep us warm. We are the safety net, and together we can cover the unsheltered. Get caught up in the spirit of the season, the spirit of love. Make a difference with your friends at KBLA Talk 1580.
Medicare open enrollment is here, and it's a time you can make changes to your health coverage. Yet, watch out for enrollment and marketing scams. Remember, Medicare will neither call you nor solicit your business. Guard your card. Never give out your Medicare number to strangers. Unsolicited calls, door-to-door visits, and emails are prohibited. Take your time. Don't feel pressured to make a quick decision. Report scams to our California Senior Medicare Patrol at 1-855-613-7080.
Around here, we don't believe in victimhood. We believe in raising our voices, amplifying black voices in the climate conversation. We're KBLA Talk 1580. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. If you need help getting your resume in order, finding job training, or landing a job, we've got 3 great options for you. First, the City of Los Angeles has WorkSource centers across the area offering free job support. The California Workforce Development Board can help you with everything from GED prep to vocational training at no cost to you. On the federal level, the Department of Labor's American Job Centers offer a full range of services for job seekers and businesses alike. Visit careeronestop.org, or for more info, just call California's Help Center or visit cwdb.ca.gov or call 916-657-1440. For the City of Los Angeles programs, go to ewdd.lacity.gov or call 213-744-7300. All these services are free to help you get your next job. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
I went to My Computer Career because I needed job security.
Because I wanted a career in cybersecurity.
I went to My Computer Career because IT jobs are everywhere.
My old job was going nowhere.
I went because I didn't want college loans for the rest of my life.
Because I wanted a career for the rest of my life.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. Classes available online or in person. Financial aid available for qualified students, including the GI Bill. 529 college savings plans accepted.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Autopsy Initiative provides a second autopsy free of charge for victims' families who have lost their loved ones due to a police-related death. The services offered through the initiative include the completion of a second autopsy, disclosure of preliminary findings, and a final autopsy report. A police-related death is when an individual is harmed by police officers using deadly force, which results in an individual's death. Police-related death includes in-custody deaths, including those that arise during contact with law enforcement officers during arrest, pursuit, booking, transport, or incarceration. The Autopsy Initiative has a team of board-certified pathologists on call. An autopsy request may be completed by anyone with a close relationship with the victim, which may include the victim's spouse, partner, relative, close friend, or lawyer. To request a free second autopsy for a victim of police violence, please visit knowyourrightscamp.com. That's knowyourrightscamp.com. Then click on Autopsy, then click on Request. At KBLA, we believe in justice for victims of police violence. We say their names, and we don't black down. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. You're listening to the voice of reason with Joe Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
Love isn't enough. It's not. Compatibility is crucial. Love isn't enough. You need compatibility too. And people throw away their lives on this notion of loving someone so much. I just love them so much, I couldn't let them go. And they were willing to sacrifice their life, their happiness, their soul, eroding their confidence in the process, because when you're not true to yourself and you're not making yourself happy and your needs aren't being met, you start to hate yourself, you resent yourself, and you loathe yourself even more because you can't walk away, and now that makes you feel like you're not strong. Praying, hoping that one day your needs will be met. You are in a relationship.
Play it again. Just start it all over from the top, because he's saying something that's... Just play it again, and then I'll give you my breakdown.
Love isn't enough. It's not. Compatibility is crucial. Love isn't enough. You need compatibility too. And people throw away their lives on this notion of loving someone so much. I just love them so much, I couldn't let them go. And they were willing to sacrifice their life, their happiness, their soul, eroding their confidence in the process, because when you're not true to yourself and you're not making yourself happy and your needs aren't being met, you start to hate yourself, you resent yourself, and you loathe yourself even more because you can't walk away, and now that makes you feel like you're not strong. Praying, hoping that one day your needs will be met. You are in a relationship with the person you are with.
So let me just... This is why Alfred Korzybski, and this is why I blend all of these different lanes into the relationship space. Alfred Korzybski, famous linguist, right? Famous linguist. You know, the map is not the territory. The definition creates the condition. And he was very famous for not ever wanting to use the verb is or to be, because he says it creates a bunch of logical fallacies. That man talking about love isn't enough. First off, love is a very high level of consciousness that very few human beings ever ascend to. So if you haven't been to the top of Mount Kilimanjaro, how can you tell me how cold the ice is? If you've never been to that level of consciousness, how can you tell me that it's not enough? Well, you know, that ice up there is not cold enough. You've never been up there, so you don't know. That's number one. Then number two, could you be speaking from the perspective of an attachment wound? Right? Maybe you never got love. So now you're after love, and now you're saying, you know what, love isn't enough. I need compatibility. We start the show off with Krishnamurti. Krishnamurti says, is it love or is it attachment? Because if it's attachment, okay, we bring in the Buddha. Attachment is the source of all suffering. Do you see? So I'm listening to that guy speak, and from my perspective and from everything that I've learned and everything that I'm still learning and studying and reading, I'm saying, you sound like someone who has an insecure attachment style. Because if your holy book tell you God and love are synonymous, which they do, across cultures, then that means you haven't met God and you ain't met love. What you have is an insecure attachment style, and because you're speaking forcefully and articulately, you think people are going to accept it as the truth, and many people will. But this is why Alfred Korzybski, and this is why many theoretical physicists understood why Alfred Korzybski and many other linguists said, you know what, we need a different type of language to describe the reality that we're seeing at the subatomic level and at the subnuclear level, because our language doesn't fit what's happening at this level of consciousness, at this level of reality. Our mathematics can barely be translated into any linguistic form. Do you see? When you're dealing with spirituality, spirituality defies articulation. This is why the great Hindu priests and and siddhis and sadhus would say, God is ineffable. God, there are no words for God. So we have to be very careful when we start pushing narratives that love isn't enough. No, you can't see love through unreconciled wounds. You got to start the process of healing and cultivating self-love, right? Our guy Ross Rosenberg has already told us self-love deficient disorder, which he considers to be an addiction that, you don't love yourself so badly that you will lock into a narcissist and try to hold on to them. Do you see? You're outsourcing happiness. You're outsourcing love. And that is probably one of the most dangerous things anybody could ever do. But our society trains us to look outward, right? The origins of outsourced love. From birth, humans rely on caregivers for love, safety, and validation. For those with secure attachments, these needs evolve into a balanced interplay of self-sufficiency and interdependence. However, insecure attachment styles, avoidant, anxious, and disorganized, often disrupt this balance. Attachment theorists such as John Bowlby and Mary Ainsworth describe how inconsistent or harmful caregiving imprints certain patterns on individuals that causes them to go out and seek validation. Glenn R. Schiraldi, PhD, in his book, he highlights that individuals raised with conditional love frequently internalize the belief that they must earn affection, leading them to outsource love to partners for societal approval. It's heavy, man. A lot of people are struggling with this. I can't love you more than you love yourself. I shouldn't be able to love you more than you love yourself. And this is not a narcissistic thing. What I'm saying is the wellspring from love that I feel from you must be the love that you have for you. Otherwise, you're going to be chasing somebody to give you what you refuse to give yourself, what you refuse to cultivate within yourself. Maybe nobody told you that you're capable of doing it, but you are. And if you don't do it, I promise you, you will be a cellmate, being breadcrumbed, rations from somebody, right, that's just going to mirror the lack of self-love you have for yourself. Man, I'm telling you. Listen, when I come forward, I promise now, I'm going to the phone lines. We got people on the line. People want to talk. I want to talk to them. Let's get them in here. Let's really make this thing happen. We got people from all over the country. We're going to get it going. Woo, we got a lot to talk about.
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward.
To the 100 million people who owe the IRS money, this message is for you. We've helped tens of thousands of people close the door on their tax debt. So if you feel like you're stuck in a hole with IRS tax debt, then this is the easiest way to get a resolution quickly. To qualify for a no-pay or low-pay resolution, visit taxclosure.org to get free from the IRS once and for all.
To keep your bank accounts, income, and assets secure, tax closure is your same-day cure.
An official message from Medicare.
Couple more minutes, and we'll start this month's book club.
You know, I usually love a plot twist, but this year, I'm comparing my options during Medicare open enrollment.
You can't assume your current health or drug plan is the best one for you.
And you gotta make sure your drugs are covered. That's important.
So is saving money.
Review all your options at Medicare.gov. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
My mom has decided to learn to paint, and she's good.
My dad's now into creative cuisine, and I've already put on 6 pounds.
Learning new things comes with age.
My mom, she started forgetting my name and what we're talking about.
Forgetting well-known things doesn't. Memory loss may be a sign of Alzheimer's disease. Early detection gives you and your loved one time to plan for the future. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
You know you want some more. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Even though there are some people that never show it, even though there are some people who are completely shut off from them, even though there are narcissistic people that block their feelings, we have to take in the idea that everybody has feelings. And as you go up the self-help ladder, it can be very easy to connect to the people that you perceive have a very open heart, that are very transparent about what they feel, that are constantly vulnerable. But your spiritual growth starts to be when you can feel the feelings that people have, the true soul, innocent, loving feelings that people have that they never show. That doesn't mean give your power away. That doesn't mean become a big people pleaser and over-the-line empath that lets someone control you. That means stay connected to the higher you and start to feel the compassion that the now has for all of humanity. Start to just be. Start to connect. Start to see love in every person. And you won't believe how amazing life starts to be for you.
Woo! Oh, God, it's so hard being in a relationship with another human being. It's easy to be in a relationship with a human doing because you could just say, do what you're supposed to do. Do what your gender role says you're supposed to do, and we'll be good. No. The moment you start being a human being, people's feathers get ruffled. We got callers on the line. We have an amazing topic tonight. And we have callers from all over the country already. We got Jamila from Washington, D.C. Jamila, what are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
Hey, good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm good. So I wanted to call in because this topic really resonated with me with where I am in my life currently. Mm-hmm. I recently got out of a 3-year relationship, and I've been in a relationship for pretty much my entire adult life. And I am trying to give myself space to just learn how to be comfortable in my aloneness. Mm-hmm. And I realized that, I have an anxious attachment style. And I've been listening to a lot of your videos about anxious attachment style. And I realized that instead of seeking security from, like you said, outsourcing security, I have to become secure within myself and become securely attached to my own self.
Absolutely. And remember, as I stated earlier about Alfred Korzybski, the definition creates the condition. So once you find out, oh, I'm anxious, preoccupied, renounce that. You're not anxious, preoccupied, because any good clinician will tell you that these attachment styles are not static. They're not going to stay there forever. You can recontextualize this belief, right? You can find out, like, oh, okay, I had an insecure, or not insecure, but an inconsistent primary caregiver who didn't attend to my needs all the time. They were in and out. It was up and down, back and forth. So I learned how to be anxious, to try to perform and show them that I'm worthy and lean into them and let them know that I was special, to try to differentiate myself. And once you go back and you go, man, that was a human being. That wasn't a perfect person. This is where I got this attachment style from. I don't have to stay with this style. So guess what you do? You find out the anxious attachers tend to attract the avoidant styles. And the avoidant styles causes anxious attachers to kind of chase a little, right? They pull back. They, oh, well, okay, thank you for the hugs and kisses. Thank you for all the love. Oh, enough. We get those types, right? Well, you have to learn how to pull back yourself. That's the biggest lesson you can learn, is how to pull back yourself.
Yeah, and it's something that I'm learning how to do, because actually, for me, it's kind of the opposite. I tend to go into a relationship with people who are like very, maybe they commit very quickly, or, they're also kind of very preoccupied with love and romance, probably as a form of escapism. And so it's just like this really intense kind of like, oh my God, I just met you yesterday. Let's get married.
This is big. Do you like them? Yeah.
What I realized is that I like how they make me feel, which is secure. And I had that realization about my last boyfriend, where I was like, I don't think I actually loved him. I loved the security. This is the security and validation that he gave me.
And that's the flip of the anxious. Anxious will attract another anxious, but guess what? We will become avoidant.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you see that? The anxious will become avoidant when someone is doing what they do. Now, we tend to not like those who are pouring it on the way we would pour it on with somebody that we like. But typically, when we start pouring it on towards somebody, typically, they're avoidant. And then they run a little, and then we chase a little, and then they try to stay cool, calm, and collected, and then we say, hey, that was a big moment for us. Look, we try to pull them in, and then you find out when there's conflict and we want to have a real conversation, the avoidant pulls away.
Yeah.
The anxious will lean in and say, all right, well, let's fix it. Let's work it out. But we, as anxious folk, we will attract other anxious folk and will pull back. Why? Because the anxious and the avoidant see something in each other that we think we are missing in ourselves. So we're attracted to each other. We're like the two particles in the entanglement principle, right? The entanglement principle back in the day, physics, where you get two entangled particles, and regardless of how far they are away, if one is spinning at a northern angle and the other one spinning at a southern angle, if you change one, the other one changes instantaneously. Like we are inverts of each other. So we tend to attract each other. So all I'm saying is there are lessons in that attraction, right? So the question becomes, if you know you are anxious, right? What are the top 5 anxious behaviors, anxious preoccupied behaviors in intimate relationship? How does it show up for you?
For me, I think it is just wanting constant reassurance. There's like a hypervigilance where it's like, oh my God, you sneeze too hard. Like, are you upset with me?
Wait, stay with me. Don't leave. Keep thinking about those. When we come forward, we going back to the nation's capital.